Alex, hi. The up and down today. How did it go for you?
Yeah, it went well. I felt healthy, so that was our main goal. I threw pretty good, gave it one hit, a couple strikeouts, but overall it was good. Made it out alive.
That's a good thing. How much of it is just making sure the body feels good, regardless of kind of location and how your actual pitches feel?
Yeah, my health's the main part. I was hanging pretty good, through summer camp, and then into my first one. But my metrics had kind of stayed the same throughout summer camp. Then, my arm slot dropped pretty significantly in that first start, and it was back up today for the most part, and felt good overall. So hopefully we'll bounce back tomorrow, and then keep on climbing the ladder from there.
How do you get that arm slot where it needs to be in terms of your rehab, getting through it? What needs to happen to the body to get your arm slot where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, my shoulder's feeling better. So I mean, it was closer to what it has been over spring training and summer camp today, and so just continue to feel good and move forward, and it should jump back up to where it typically stays.
Inflammation, is it anti-inflams? Is it stem work? How do you get rid of that?
Hello.
Sorry,
um,
how do you get rid of that?
no, yeah. I mean, I got on some anti-inflammatories. And just been doing some good rehab and recovery stuff with our training staff. They've been great. I've been on a great program, feeling better each and every day. And so just got to keep moving forward, and hopefully I should be back pretty soon. So
I
we'll
was
see
going to
how.
say, when is that for you, do you think?
We haven't talked since I got done throwing today, but I think we'll probably wait till see how I recover tomorrow, which I'm assuming will be. I'll feel fine, and then we'll probably have a discussion about best way to move forward and where we go from here.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Alex, how did this happen? The obvious thing to look at is the weird schedule and the brief ramp up and all the downtime and everything. Do you think that was what was behind it?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, this year, just everything is so weird. I honestly think what happened for me was, obviously we jump into summer camp and ramp up to game-like intensity, and then I had a pretty solid shoulder care program, things I was doing during quarantine, when I was throwing once a week. And I think possibly one of my shoulder exercises that I do the day after I throw just kind of made my shoulder act up a little bit. And then once it kind of got inflamed like it did, it wasn't too bad, but then you continue to throw and make starts throughout summer camp, and it just gets a little worse and a little worse, but we had the data, see that my metrics are staying pretty much the same throughout. And so you're not that worried. You just, guys throw through stuff. But then when you go to my first start and my release height dropped pretty significantly, it was kind of the tipping point for how I was feeling translating to, the mechanical aspect of it in that first start. So I think we made the smart decision to kind of take a step back for 2 weeks through live today, and it shouldn't be much longer. I should be ready to contribute here soon.
You talk about the metrics showing you that the arm slot had changed. How specific is that now compared to a couple of years ago, where you would have just been going by feel, or it kind of looked like it dropped?
Yeah, so I mean, it's super beneficial to be able to see hard data, and track consistently, start to start, pen to pen, whatever it may be. I mean, it's a huge help because before you're essentially just guessing. I mean, most guys when they don't feel right or their stuff doesn't feel right. I mean, you can just assume that something is not clicking the way it's supposed to be, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever it may be. But to have the hard data to be able to go and look at each start to kind of see where you're at, where you want to go, things like that. It's very, very beneficial for sure.
Thanks.
Got a question from Michael Duarte. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Alex. This team's starting rotation has a lot of depth behind it, which is a luxury, which allows you to take those 2 weeks to make yourself get 100% right and not have to rush back or pitch through injury. But at the same time, you're on a 1-year deal and a shortened season. And is there any concern or view that you want to go out there and showcase yourself as much as you can in this year with an uncertain financial market in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, individual level, yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, it all kind of runs together. I worked really hard this off season. It sucks that as soon as we start, you start feeling a little banged up. But in the big picture, I'm feeling better. As soon as I come back, contribute, pitch well, help the team as much as I can, go out there, make a deep run in the playoffs, and just continue to do my part to help propel us forward, hopefully towards a World Series. And the rest of that stuff will kind of take care of itself. It's kind of the domino effect. So I'm just glad that I'm feeling better. I'm chomping at the bit to get back and contribute to this team, these guys. It's been so much fun being back here. We haven't even started clicking on all cylinders yet. So we're off to a pretty decent start. So it'll be fun once everything kind of comes together and I'm able to contribute to that and kind of move forward.
Great. Thank you.
We got one more question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Alex. You had talked about how good you were feeling, all summer camp. So just to kind of be clear, was it something that like right before the first start, it just kind of been building up a little bit? Was it something where you sort of felt it early on in that start? What kind of happened there?
It was kind of a gradual build with how I was build up with how I was feeling. I felt pretty good my first summer camp start, and then in between my first and second started to act up a little bit, and then obviously continued to throw through it. Didn't think it was a big deal, and then kind of turned into something that, like I said, affected my release height, and obviously I wasn't feeling very great, like very, very good when I got to my first start of the season. But like I said, the metrics were staying in line with where I had been previously, each and every start of summer camp, and even before that during quarantine. So, if you're a little bit banged up, but your stuff's staying the same, it's fine. But then once that starts to affect what you're doing in a game out of the mound, then the combination of the two doesn't make a whole lot of sense to move forward. So haven't made a ton of smart choices, physically in my life. I like to play, I want to, if I can strap up and go out there and give our team a chance to win, I'm going to do that. And so I think it was a smart decision for us to take a step back, feel a little bit better, get some anti-inflammatories in me, and hopefully move forward to throw great down the stretch. And
Is there I don't know if relief is the right word, but is there any relief, after you come out of an outing and you can point to something and say, okay, here is it was the arm slot, it was the release point. Like you can point to something as maybe why a result goes the way it does.
Yeah. So, to be a little bit more specific, my arm slot dropped about 6 inches from my last summer camp start or sim game to the first start. So that's not something that's very out of the ordinary, to where it's not really something that you're doing mechanically. That's a kind of a red flag. It says, hey, it's like your shoulder or whatever you have that's going on is now affecting what you're doing at a game-like intensity. So I figured that once I started to feel a little bit better, it would click back in, and it wasn't 100% consistent today, but much closer to what I have been accustomed to through summer camp and quarantine and all that good stuff. So on the right track, feeling good and healthy, and just ready to get back.
Thanks, Alex.